I'm 28 and have accomplished absolutely nothing with every opportunity I've been given. I'm sorry if this sounds so self-pitying, I'm just so fucking defeated right now and feel so alone. This is probably gonna end up being a throwaway account because I dread the idea of one of my family members finding this. I think it will just make them sad. As the title states, I've wasted every opportunity I've been given. Some on poor judgment, some on unfortunate circumstance, but in retrospect, I think it's really all been me. I'm not looking for sympathy, I swear, I just don't know where to go from here. After high school I got into medicine, I was going to be a doctor. My marks were really good, but the university did accept me partly because of my parents' financial ability to pay. This is why I don't consider this a true accomplishment that I managed alone. But my studies were my everything. I hated it but I enjoyed it, if you get me. I was in my 4th year when my mom died. It came fast and hard and I didn't even process it till about 2 years later. It came as such a shock. My family was distraught and I flunked out of medicine after failing the same modules for 3 consecutive years. They eventually kicked me out. I tried to change degrees but it didn't work out for me. I tried to apply to other places but I was rejected as well. I think my failing really left a mark on my academic record. The university offered me a leave of absence the year my mother died, but I was so convinced I was fine. So stupid. I wasted my parents' money for literally nothing. I hated myself for that. About a year went by where I did nothing. I worked some part-time jobs here and there, but I really never had any genuine aspiration career-wise other than wanting to help people. Healthcare was where my heart was at and I was too ashamed to try go back because of the cost and the fact that I had failed so many times. I eventually applied to do an art degree at a public college. I just needed to do something, to accomplish something. By this point my 2 older siblings had graduated and moved out, one got married recently, and my younger one was doing her master's degree, now PhD, in robotics or something. I felt so incredibly useless. I thought I was doing good though. I did really good networking while I studied and worked with a lot of design agencies over the years. I even got a permanent part-time job at one. I was saving to buy myself an iPad. Starting freelance work has been one of my short-term goals, but then I got fired beginning of the year. They hired full-time designers and didn't need me anymore. I was sad I couldn't get my iPad anymore, but I figured there were other opportunities for me since I'm about done with my degree this year. I have been applying for jobs and recently I got accepted for a program for graduates and I was so excited. I worked really hard on getting this degree in networking. It felt like my efforts were finally coming to something. Then they revoked the offer. They said it was an error, I was not meant to be accepted. I thought I did really well and I've come to realize I have done absolutely nothing. I don't know art the way I know science. I'm not qualified to do anything. I spent 3 years excelling in a degree I don't have any job prospects in and leeching off my father. It's been 6 years since I lost my mom and I have done nothing but fall on my face, and I know she would be so sad to see me fall apart because of her death. I just know she would do anything to help me through this, but I'm completely lost and feel so useless. I wasted my time doing this degree. I should have done literally anything else. I chose art, the most vague degree I could find just to feel like I'm going somewhere. I've spoken to my dad about how helpless I feel and he just says think about the little things you've accomplished and better things will come, but I hated hearing that. I hated it. I've worked so hard towards and I have accomplished nothing. I don't know anymore. I think this blow was just the straw that broke the camel's back and I had a complete breakdown. I know this was long and honestly reading it back I sound like I'm being dramatic, but I have always been the disappointment of my family. I was a difficult child growing up. I was angry and depressed, which eventually turned into anxiety, and I definitely knew something was wrong with the way brain worked, to the point where I just didn't think I'd make it out high school alive, if you catch my drift. I was never bullied, just out of place and honestly. I was told I was difficult or that something was wrong with me by people around me, my siblings and parents excluded, but I knew they though it sometimes, even after my mother died, and I was so desperate to make something of myself. I never had any aspirations growing up, but I feel so defeated and I feel like these people were right in the end. Sometimes I think I just wasn't meant to live this long, you know. If younger me had to see that they survived to amount to this, I think I know the response I would have.